What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. So, keep trying to tell you guys that I'm not for either candidate. Now, I have been going heavier on Kamala because my people have this almost insatiable love for this woman, and it's not reciprocated, neither personally or with her policies or her actions, you know. And my people have a 60-year, almost monolithic support of the Democratic Party. And since at least the 1980s, they have done everything that they can do to show that they've taken this support. They've taken this support for granted. That's all I'm here doing. But don't get it twisted. I don't support Donald Trump either. And Donald Trump, before Joe Biden dropped out, Donald Trump was running a very, very strong campaign. You know, he was trying to appear presidential. He was confident. He was confident because he knew that Joe Biden, being the bully that Trump is, he knew that Joe Biden was a weak candidate. And he knew that, you know, this isn't the same Joe Biden from 4 years ago, let alone 12, 15 years ago. So he was eager to debate him, eager to debate Joe Biden, eager, jumped on it because he knew he was a weak opponent. So we had the earliest presidential debate in history. And look, as weak as Joe Biden was, can we really say Trump mopped the floor with him? I mean, Trump won hands down, but it was only because Joe Biden was so anemic, so poor. Had this been a Joe Biden of 10, 15 years ago, he would have easily beaten Trump in that debate. But ever since Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala has become the presumptive Democratic nominee, Donald Trump is acting differently. Don't get me wrong, he attacks Kamala, but it's not the same swag. It's not the same boastfulness and confidence and cockiness that he had when it was Joe Biden. And this is trademarks of someone who is a bully. He's a bully. And, you know, I understand the argument that, look, if you're in the lead, then why take chances? But this is the thing. When he was in the lead, nationally and in the state-by-state races, he had no problems debating Joe Biden. But now you could argue, hell, he's not really in the lead anymore. If this new line of polling is true, and we're in a tight race, or if some of the polling is correct, Kamala has reshuffled the deck and has taken the lead. So if this is a tight race, or if Kamala has an advantage nationally and in electoral college, at least for right now, then Donald Trump really shouldn't have the argument that, oh, I can just coast on my lead. And history has proven that you can't always do that. And usually you can't do that in an election. Remember, Tom Dewey, despite his political instincts telling him that he was supposed to fight and attack Harry Truman, his advisors told him in 1948, look, Harry Truman, the polls show he's unpopular. His own party is turning on him. Strom Thurmond's running on the Dixiecrat ticket. The former vice president at the time, Henry Wallace, was running third party on the socialist ticket, I think it was. They're going to take millions of votes away from Harry Truman. There's no way he can win. And he won. Why? Because Harry Truman went on the offensive. He was the underdog, But he went on the offensive and he attacked not Dewey, but the 80th GOP controlled Congress. He attacked them because at the time, they were the most inept, they were the most inactive, and the most ineffectual Congress that we had ever had. He went on the attack. And if Trump is now all of a sudden becoming the slight underdog, he got to be on the attack. But lately, man, he's been a lot of missteps with this guy. A lot of missteps. Ever since he picked J.D. Vance and ever since Joe Biden has dropped out, he's been making a lot of mistakes. His vice president saying all this dumb stuff, got this weird obsession with people that don't have children and, you know, insulting a lot of voters that he shouldn't even be insulting. Come on, man. You know, you're ducking her and you seem like you're not sure of yourself. You don't know how to come at her. Then they keep making the same mistakes where instead of attacking this woman on her record, you keep using the dehumanizing tactics. You keep race baiting, which is supposedly contrary to the message of your convention where, oh, we're going to be a kinder, gentler party. We're going to be more inclusive with, you know, Tim Scott, the human incarnation of, as my boy 7-8 put it, Touche Turtle. You know what I'm saying? He's at the convention talking about America's not a racist country. Really? Really? You heard some of the things that some of the Trump subordinates have, and surrogates have been saying about Kamala, said over the years about Obama? This is the thing about Trump. You can't sit up here and get mad just today. He was at the what was it? The National Association. It's a yearly or annual gathering of Black journalists. I think it was in Chicago. I think it's called the National Association of Black Journalists. And they were there to ask some legitimate questions. You want Black people to vote for you, right? And this is the problem I have with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They think we're stupid. The Democrats, all they got to do is bring out some entertainers and twerk and rap and tell us to go vote for somebody without really telling them or telling us why we should vote for them. Just go out there and vote. It's the most important election. Every year, every election is the most important. This is the most important election ever. Got to get out there and vote and defeat the enemy. Okay. I hear what you're saying. But what makes you our ally? Oh, well, you know, well, look what he's saying. Okay, I get that. I get what you're saying. But what makes Kamala our ally? They can never answer that. They can never tell you why you should go out there and vote for them. But the Republicans legitimize the Democrats' claims of racism because they are. They are. And there's people on here that's going to say, oh, man, that's not true. Oh, this is just a chess move. I'm so sick of that chess move analogy. At the end of the day, Donald Trump lied about President Obama not being a United States citizen. Do you really think, look, this is what gets me. Donald Trump, Joan Rivers before she died, scores of Republicans questioned the patriotism and the legitimacy of Barack Obama, saying he wasn't born here. Why? Because he's not white. They did the same thing to Vivek Ramaswamy. Not that I give a shit, because he's over there. But he saw when he was running for president, the voters that he was seeking didn't even see him as an American. They saw him as a foreigner. Why? Because he was too dark, right? But Arnold Schwarzenegger can run for governor of California. and not be born here. And nobody cared. I know it's a horrible honor. I could do better than that. But nobody cared. Nobody cared. He wasn't born here. Now, look, he couldn't run for president because of the Constitution. But as long as you live here for 14, I think it's 14 continuous years, you can run for state or local office. And nobody cared that he wasn't born in America. But I have this suspicion that if this was, somebody like Idris Elba running for office, now all of a sudden his not being born here makes him ineligible. You see how that works? So that is racist. And Trump played into that with Barack Obama. Trump has referred to black cities as being shitholes. He's referred to black-dominated countries as being shitholes, like Haiti. That's not racist. At the very least, it's elitist and class and well, I don't want to use that term, but elitist as hell. At the very least, it's elitist, haughty, and it is racist because it's coming from a place of racism. Because there's a lot of other cities that are, you could argue are low income, white areas. They're not doing very well, but Trump doesn't attack them. So all of these questions are legitimate, but his ego won't allow, one of us to question him. So instead of saying, you know what, sometimes I may have gone overboard, I apologize, I've learned, and I really do want to do something to help the black community. That would have been a start. The media is never going to give him credit, but if he had just did that, then you know what? Some of us would have said, okay, look, we ain't got to like you, but if you're willing to do something for our vote and you're sincere about it and you're really going to do something, then maybe we'll consider voting for you. But it has to be a real, actual, maybe at least 5-point plan to do things to help rejuvenate the black community. Okay? And if you're committed to that, then maybe we'll vote for you. But this, I'm the best president since Lincoln. How the fuck could you open your mouth up and say that? The best president for black people since Lincoln. Really? Come on, man. So that's why I don't support either one of these guys, man. I really don't. But you can support who you want to support. That's your right. At the end of the day, both parties won't learn. And that's why the people who vote Democratic. The people who vote Republican. That's why the rest of our black asses or brown asses or white asses stay home. So anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Tell me what you guys think.